Where's the money? 4 years, Anu Christopher was taking $70,000 for logistics, for this, for ABC, and someone has still done. When I feel say Christopher get any interest for the revolution. I tell you, I want action now. If you start show, put link, Muna contribute. You don't want ABC. Say Sako don't form parallel government. Which parallel government? Who be fake a government for I go from parallel one? All of you, Christian, you should be ashamed. You call yourself big mouth. Then that they sack you twice. The real internal government, where they for jail sack you. You still go Sako when a splinter group still sack you. They sack you. They not replace you with better man. They replace you with Full John. So what a shame. And you get the guts for Komaka to make noise. Say you and Sako the chief pass. Sako is an all-arm robber. You came and you bring new technologies for inside thief. You enhance thief free. You what am I even talking about? Then you get na Joshua Carr. That's all. Now Joshua Carr. The rest of them, now me, I've grown Joshua Carr. Now whenever everybody talk nonsense about me, I'm only punishing I will teach them. You look at it, they will got plenty when you start talking about me. All everywhere, he get teeth all over. He tongue, they get teeth, he head. You see now the young man, his teeth don't start reduce. Then you'll get one for Germany when you can't lie and say, he get 2 companies. You don't get no website, the sperm chop guy. An epileptic fellow, I'll say it. He can't make noise, he lie about people. He said today we'll counter. Listen, Sako come a target, they will tell any man like Republic, Chris Anu, when they come with big mouth today, you want to say Sako from parallel government. When I get with parallel government, who fed you on a government? An armed robber, you want to talk about Sako. Sako na ultimate man, but you can't revolutionize still free for the revolution. I still now, now you go say Chris Anu. Mark Barata is a disgrace. So go endorse a thief again in this revolution. A thief. You go endorse thieves. Christopher Anu, I'll tell you one thing. Me, Eric Taw, I'm back for you.
Now, Sagat. Na bubeda na yapa, na enda robi kunkumais. I be tell una say na just matter of time. All na go down one after the other. Na no hear, we need hear it. And more na know very well say the very civilian and no hot them. Them they chunk for our back. They give you all reliable information. And no mind say they smile with you. They not be happy. Yes, they not be happy. But they there for our back strong. And I want to tell all now, Ebube don't go down. Sagat, G Unit, Sky B, Pipiro, and all the likes. Una go down one after the other. Now plastic that for you okay. Oside it don't go down. I be tell and I talk something na empty mop. I be tell Spirito for side. I be tell Dino for side. I want call which one leave which one. And if we not drop on our arms, na so na go one after the other as Ebube don't go. Ebube be the hide for Bunja, the buy guns and for una, give una bullet, go Nigeria go bring weapon. I be tell say they go reach, na day that don't reach. One of the highest una pay for understand. I see Bamuso. Me man no pass. I say if you pass, you stay for there for 2-3 days. If you stay alive, you change my name. I don't tell una say no. No man no fit ever divide Cameroon. I dey tell una this thing na for una to una good. Una drop una weapons. Una embrace the amnesty where the head of state don't give am. Or we drop una. No hurry. I get time. There be I show una say wait. Una go down one after the other. There will be this on my corner. The question I want ask you now say who be next? Sagat. Other small 10 francs. Will torment my people. Who poor mommy them for ground zero. Una they take their money so that they fight for independence. But the man una will go down.
All you hear now from northwest to southwest is one piece. As a matter of fact, we were agitating at a particular time for secession. At a certain level, people came down to federation. At a certain level, they came down to confederation. And then when the special status was granted, it was insulted. Others have also dwindled down to the special status. As a matter of fact, nobody's even asking for the form of state anymore. People are asking for peace, because the absence of peace has caused a lot of atrocities and casualties within the Northwest and the Southwest. As a matter of fact, life is no longer the way it used to be. But nevertheless, as the war persists and the war has persisted throughout this period, it is but certain that everybody is agitating now but for peace. And that's the reason why when the idea of the Canadian-led dialogue came up, it was embraced by everyone, thinking that they could arrive as a consensus to bring peace back to the North and the Southwest. Because if you ask any ordinary person living in the North and the Southwest, all they will tell you right now is that they are not interested in whatever people want to do. What they want is peace back in the North and the Southwest. That is a predominant desire. That is what everybody is agitating for right now. So whatever measure, whatever shortcut they are going to use to bring peace back, peace is the major ingredient that is lacking. As a matter of fact, everybody is agitating now for peace, not even to achieve something anymore.
Okay. What would explain this turn of the aspirations or desires in the population? Is it fatigue in waiting, or the fact that there are frustration and so much suffering?
Mr. Leo, the aspirations of the people initially was very, very high because they had not gone through some difficulties in life. Okay. Sometimes they used to say, when you are hungry and you are still selecting food, it means you are not hungry. If you are truly hungry, you will eat anything that is around you as far as it can quench your hunger. At the initial stage of this crisis, everybody, most of us, were agitating for so many things. Everybody was asking for something. People wanted federation, others wanted confederation, others wanted secession, and in a nutshell, people wanted some kind of change in government. But we see, as the days are going by, based on the effect of the crisis upon the people, economically, socially, educationally, psychologically, emotionally, as a matter of fact, it has changed people's perspective. And this is why we used to say, when a man is drowning, even if he has to hold the tail of a crocodile to survive as his last hope, he will hold the tail of a crocodile. A drowning man also sees the tail of a python as a means of survival. That is where the Northwest and the Southwest, they have come to right now. They have come to the place of that drowning man who has seen the tail of a crocodile as the only means of survival. And that's the reason why they are insisting that they want peace. Out of what has happened so far, Mr. Leo, you don't expect, initially when the crisis started, children had not suffered not going to school, businesses had not collapsed, people had not died in their numbers, properties were not destroyed, others had not become refugees, others had not become IDPs, people had not deserted their environment, people had not lost that ecstasy, that joy of home, people, that feeling of nostalgia they're developing right now, they are missing home. We used to get up 10 holiday, you roast mamenda, you eat corn, roasted corn, roast corn and plantain, roast corn and boiled granite. You will eat other things in the village, but that passion to go back again is not there. Most villages are deserted, people are no longer staying there. So as a matter of fact, all these things I have named have contributed to the reason why people are now missing so many things, and they have seen that the consequences and the damages of the crisis is even more than what they are agitating for, because no change of government can bring the number of souls that have died, the houses destroyed, the education plundered, businesses frustrated, careers destroyed, as well as innocent souls have died in the course of the crisis. What kind of government? Is it independence, federalism, that can be exchanged for human life? No amount of government, no change of government.
But the fact that a lot has been done as far as our damage is concerned, many persons would tell you that we'd rather die because we've lost so many persons. Thousands of persons have died. We cannot get to this level and want to get back. We have to fight till the end.
Mr. Leo, I think in English we have superlative and comparative. There is good, better, best. There is bad, worse, worst.
Okay.
We're at the bad stage. We've gone to the worst.
Okay.
We shouldn't allow things to go to the worst. It's bad, worse, worst. I think it's common sense. It's intelligence for us to look at where we are right now, look at what we've achieved so far, and then imagine if we insist fighting, where are we going to land tomorrow? Because the truth is, from every indication, initially when the crisis started, there were more fighters. There was much money. People were there to support the cause. But as the days are going by, we no longer have so many fighters. We no longer have money anymore to sustain the cause. People also have gone through a lot of torture, psychological. People were not kidnapped in those days. Families have turned, who were in support of the crisis, have turned against the crisis. And if you put all this in a nutshell, you realize that even the desire and the passion to support again in the hearts of people has actually died. Now, if you look at it critically, the collaboration between the population and the boys in the bushes are no longer the same. Why? If you move in some communities that were first of all deserted, were first very, very, very harsh, you will discover there is calm returning to the environment, which means the heat of the crisis is dwindling. For instance, in places like Bamenda, you go to places like Kumba, you go to places like Boya, they are not that hot again as they used to be hot around the 2016 to 2017. That is to let you understand that a lot has gone along the line that it has helped to quench down the crisis. And this is the reason why we must look at things not just from where we are coming from, but from where we are right now, where we are going to. Anybody who does not look yesterday, look today, and look at the future has no destination. When I hear people keep holding that we started in 2016, it was like this. Can you give us the analysis of 2016 and that of 2022? There is a gap. There is a difference. Things are no longer the way they used to be. Now, how many people were supporting this crisis initially as supporting it? Many people have turned along the line. People have changed their aspirations, they have changed their beliefs, they have changed their concept as far as the crisis keep advancing. Because why? So much has gone within this period that has changed a lot of people's perspectives and their approach to the crisis anymore. So I think it's very normal for us to also sit down and reason that we do no longer have the energy financially, the energy physically, the energy in number, the energy in support as we used to have, rather than holding on to what we cannot sustain. Why don't you think of a new strategy on how to embrace peace and be able to avert or avoid what may still come in the future?
Okay.
The cry of the poor right now is not just even looking for a system of government or some kind of independence. They are looking for that peace that they have missed for the past 7 years. So if there is an initiative coming to broker peace, that was what first and foremost every Southern Cameroonian was excited about, because at least peace is coming back. Even if I'm not going to get anything, let me go back home and still walk my cocoyam and eat my focon and vegetable and have peace where I used to be. We are going to stop the hearing of guns from here and there. Our children will have the access to go back to school. It was on this that most of the Southern Cameroonians that were around where I was and where I visited were hanging on, that at least peace is going to return. If you ask any Southern Cameroonian at this particular level, Mr. Liu, they will tell you that to be sincere, what they want is peace. Whatever method they are going to use to bring us this peace, they should bring us peace. So the idea of the Canadian government was greatly appreciated, and I think it was embraced by so many Southern Cameroonians. We have picked gun for 6, getting to 7 years. I want us to take a stock on those people who began this crisis did not pick gun. The standard of living, the way of life, the opportunities, the privileges that they had, with a generation that picked gun and fought. What is the difference between this generation and the generation that saw this same problem but refused to pick guns? That's what she was supposed to be asking. I told you one time, and I'm still saying it right now, if you ask an ordinary man in the street that what system of government do you want, they will tell you the system of government they want now is peace. Even though peace is not a system of government, they will tell, because why? That is predominantly what has consumed every soul. Most of the people write and debunk the idea of negotiation or peace are people who are not on ground. They have not tasted an inch. It is not a disgrace to surrender. It is not. Sometimes you don't win by winning, you win by surrendering. If you think I'm lying, ask Philip Effiong and Ojukwu Odumegwu Emeka of Nigeria.
This is the moment to surrender, and I understand the pain that ground zero goes through. But listen,
that when we were in 2016, 2017, you could see videos of at least 5,000 soldiers in Kupe Maninguba, 10,000 soldiers in Lebi Alem, 15,000 soldiers in Bui, But do we have those videos anymore? The major heads in all those associations, those groups, we heard them dying one after the other, and their bodies were displayed publicly. Does that not tell us that we are engaging in some battle that we thought we could make it? But if it is not going the way we expect, let us retreat, and then have a rethink of what we intend to do.
Yeah, but the momentum, from what you are saying, is different, especially from the diaspora. That many persons will not buy into the rhetoric you just shared here.
It's not a rhetoric. Point of correction, Mr. Leo. It's a fact, and it's a reality on ground. I think they should leave that place called abroad and come here and take a taxi to Munya and stop. Go to Ikonya and stop. Go to Muyoka and stop. And come out with these facts. They will advise themselves on what next to do. Okay. Let us not sit and begin to do rocket science in our rooms by deceiving the vulnerable masses. I think it's our responsibility to tell our people. It is not a disgrace to surrender. It is not. Sometimes you don't win by winning, you win by surrendering. If you think I'm lying, ask Philip Effiong and Ojukwu Odumegwu Emeka of Nigeria, who fought the Biafra from 1967 to 1970. Sometimes you win by surrendering. If they think I'm lying, they should ask the Tamil Tigers that fought in Sri Lanka from 1983 to 2006 for 29 years. Sometimes you don't win by winning, you win by surrendering. But Mali say, he who fights and run away will live to fight again another day. Sometimes you fight and you run away. Even Elijah, who commanded fire from heaven that came down, ran away from the Jezebel, the queen, who was a witch. So sometimes it's good for us to advise ourselves on issues.
We move on. You don't support it. We lay down our tools. I have to be very frank, very, very frank with you. There is no other way. You have to give your money. You don't give your money, we will lay down tools, carry our hands on our head, surrender to La République du Cameroon, and that will be all. I don't have to say it the way it is.
I think if we used to have 50 houses in southern Cameroon, we have sacrificed 40. If 50 couldn't win, is it the remaining 10 that will win? That's the problem. If we used to have 10,000 young men that will fight for us, if we have lost 8,000, if the 10,000 could not win, is it 2,000 that will win? If we used to have an account of $200 million, and now we have $20 million, if $200 million could not win, is it 20 million that will win? If we used to have 220 guns, and we could not win, is it now we have 20 guns that will win? If we used to occupy Boya, Munya, Muyoka, Ekona, Kumba, Etam, Ekondo, Titi, Mbonge, and we could not win, Bayi Koke, we could not win. We used to occupy Bui, Donga Manton, Boyo, Mezam, we could not win. Is it now that we are only around Bui? Is it now that we are only around Meme? Why did we not win when we occupy all those places? It's common sense, as simple as ABC. We have to strategize and think of what next to do, which is a plan B. We had more soldiers, we had more weapons, we had more supporters in the past. Southern Cameroonians.
Okay.
That's I put it that way.
Okay, you had soldiers.
More soldiers, Southern Cameroonians, who were fighting the crisis. I'm using a generic term. I'm not trying to address individuals. Okay. Now putting it now on a scale. We don't have soldiers in those places anymore. We don't have those guns anymore. We had more supports from people who sponsored from here and there. We don't have those support anymore. If at all we had all those support with that crowd and those guns and the people, and we occupied all of those places. Because sometimes I hear that it has occurred in Munya, it's in Buya, Bons, Ekona, Muyoka, Kumba, Etam, Bayi Koke, Bayi Grass, Malende, Yoke, Munyenge, Bakakakakaka. But this time around, you can spot the places where guns are. You used to see 2,000 soldiers.
When the person say Bamenda has become very insecure, But yeah.
You used to have 2,000 soldiers at the blow. This time around, you cannot count up to 500 at a spot. If with all those opportunities, number of soldiers, guns, and supporters, we couldn't achieve what we're looking for, is it now that we have people spotted here and there that we are going to win? These are some of the things that if you are sincere to yourself, ask yourself these questions and think of what next to do. I'm an analyst, and I will just be telling you straight the way it is. Because I've not come here to either take side for government or take side for the separatists. I'm not here for that. I'm here to help Cameroonians and to help my people from the English extract of the country, English-speaking extract of the country.
This is the moment to surrender, and I understand the pain that Ground Zero goes through. But listen,
Canadian talks have been debunked by the government of this country. You know that the secessionists based in Europe and America have lost popularity both home and abroad. So what they are doing now is just the kick of a dying horse. They are coming out with political propaganda. We heard about the Swiss talks. The Swiss government has never declared that they have ever opened any talks between Cameroon and the secessionist movement. We now hear about the Canadian talks that the government this time around could not allow them to continue in their misinformation and disinformation of Cameroonians. So they debunked the information. This comes to clarify us that all what they are doing now is just the kick of a dying horse. They are struggling to stay afloat, but we know very well that the Cameroonian people, including both Anglophones and Francophones, have understood their modus operandi, that they started this war because they wanted a situation to be resolved. The situation has been resolved, and they are hanging on it because they are making money from it, and they will not continue being victims. Our people of this nation will not continue dying because people are living in their comfort zones and trying to use Cameroonians as bets to make their money. Cameroon is having an internal crisis like any other nation. You know, there are more secessionists in Canada than in Cameroon. In Quebec, if you have ever been to Quebec, you know, there in Quebec, there's a secessionist crisis in Quebec that is more dangerous and more bloody than what we are going through in Cameroon. I think if the Prime Minister of Canada is listening to me, she can justify, or you can just go to Google tomorrow and find out. What is happening in Cameroon is an internal crisis. The Cameroon government came up with a Grand National Dialogue that is continuous, because the process of the Grand National Dialogue is continuous. It is still in process, and we are saying that the result of the Grand National Dialogue is fantastic, because obviously we see that before we used to hear that these people have been shot, 10 people have been shot, 20 people have been shot. Actually now what is happening is that they are the how do I put them, criminals in quotes, who are hiding behind secessionists. When they go for their operations, they fall in their traps, and then when they are killed, you turn around to say innocent people have been killed. Cameroon is a state of law. Cameroon is a sovereign state. We are handling the crisis properly, and I trust the clairvoyance of the head of state, His Excellency Paul Biya, for the wisdom he has put into solving this crisis through humility, dialogue, and understanding. If not, with all the exasperations of the secessionist fighters, he would have declared full-scale war on the Northwest and Southwest regions. But true to his magnanimity, he has sent forces of law and order to install peace in these regions, and peace is gradually returning. As we can see, children have started going to school, and before you know it, everything will become normal.
hello, Ma Franca. Your voice cannot be hidden.
Thank you for the show, sir. I just want to say something about the Ndub road being blocked for almost 3 months now.
Okay.
Sagon, who is blocking that road, works directly with Sako. So I want Ambazonians to know that Sako is wicked. Sako is punishing our civilians in Ndub for nothing. Sagon gets instructions from Sako, and Sako can tell him to stop, to open that road today, and he will do it. So please, Ambazonians, Sako is the one blocking that road, punishing our civilians. That's all I want to say. Thank you, sir.
All right, thank you. You speak like an insider who knows what is going on there.
Yes, I know. Sagon gets information from Sako, and Sako is out to punish our civilians. Sako has instructed the fighters in Bui who were worshiping him like God to take a break from fighting. Sako also told his supporters in his cabinet to take a break from fighting after they bought him a presidential Mercedes. So he got what he wanted from the struggle, and he's out to kill and punish as civilians. He is the one instructing that bastard, that monster in Indop to punish as civilians. Thank you.
All right, thank you. Let's hope that the presidential Mercedes goes to work and get that road open in Indop. But I will say this to civilians in Indop. Indop people, organize yourselves. Organize yourselves. Get on that road. Let them shoot you down and let us see. Again, Indop people, organize yourself. This army or these fighters cannot be against you if they are fighting for you. Organize yourself. Get on that road. Let's see if they shoot you down. If they are not shooting La République du Cameroon's army down, let's see if they shoot you down. I think you should defy them and get on the road and march. Again, we do not support the shutting down of any road for 1 month or above, as is the case with Ndop Bamenda Road. I have learned that why the road is shut down to civilians, the military, French Cameroon military, are still using that road, and we have not heard a single report of any of them shut down. So it doesn't make any sense that you will allow your own people to suffer. They have to go to Bamenda, they have to pass through Mbunda, and you open the road to La République du Cameroon army, and you allow your own people to suffer. I would say to the fighters in Ketunja that please, this war is not to make our own people suffer. It is to fight the army of La République du Cameroon. And if you will shut down the road and La République du Cameroon army is still able to use the road, but your own people cannot use the road, who is benefiting from it? It is not the people. It is Cameroon. You are essentially saying you are on the side of La République du Cameroon. You cannot suffer that population for this long. The roads should be open, and you should target the enemy, not the civilians. All right, thank you.
Thank you.
Yeah, salute my country people. Salute Igwe Akafede up today on the 30th of January 2023. We are don't come live. Now again for Awin, Santa Awin, don't come live again today. But they mean we got for Awin zone. My brother Shanky Kidis, we be surrender on the 26th. That was Friday, the 26th of January 2023. The person way there on camera and last born, we be surrender 2 weeks ago. So I don't be make video them because I see aspects of my brother the way they get to cash surrender inside these days. And I say I don't feel the other one and maybe and they just go live today. I want to ask my brother Shankiki. So I me talk whether Shankiki you surrender so you come so Commander Spirit of the God Awin. Give you something.
Oh, Commander Spirit, see me, welcome me.
Est-ce que the two life them, you don't compare the two life them bush and the life where you don't come out now so you dey inside Awin. You be work for market, you be dey market yesterday, you be dey Sinang, you come back to Sinang at which time? You compare the two life they are.
No, I did fine.
You see?
I did fine now also because I be secure. I know they still get fear from my heart. And I pray as if all my brother they understand, they come out, they do some man something.
You see and say what President Paul Biya, it deceive not deceive say me they come up bush or it not true say they come up bush they not do nothing.
No, if our brother they still daily, they come out for bush, they do some man something, and the life where we live for outside here, a better life, because a life where you not get you no fear.
Una fear.
Live you fear.
Una here I still testify. I don't get much to talk, but believe say my people they know me. Say I be man for action, and they ever dey me na fee all time. Now why that one they mostly can be live on live video, and because I mostly be occupied, and the day na bolo all time. For Awin Santa, if you see the situation for Awin and Santa now, Santa Awin as a whole, you see I say peace don't return the normally, all activities they go normally. People they drink as they like, they do their activities as they like now. So because we don't put effort with the help of civilians, with information and the courage way commander spirit of brigade activities they go normally. People they drink as they like, they do their activities as they like now. So because we don't put effort with the help of civilians, with information and the courage way commander spirit of brigade Awin, he get life don't come back to normal for Awin. At the time, the brigade commander for Awin for the work we don't do. We will hear for last born to me last born give small speech for them. So what people them? Yeah, when I see last born that we know should I said last born 2 weeks ago where you come. How the life? Tell me as the life day.
The life dey fine. You say we dey go bush so they will deceive you say no if you can they will kill you. You will know something no dey.
Okay, you don't cancel how for brigade, you didn't for brigade Awin so. How they don't do something.
No.
That yesterday you be there Sinak Joker where you deceive wait say you then pass you then with some time also you go go after you hustle your life, you know. The government will Cameroon bad. For the way you see the two life them you see and say the Cameroon government, he don't help am, we don't punish am. Yeah. So I want at the beg my brother and say me they see no be the first people in this, no be the second people in this way they all surrender. Plenty don't surrender and they all pass through through me for Awin here, through brigade commander for Awin here. They don't go to the day outside the hustle their life and the population know about that boy them. So me the other one the day for bush me they look into realities. Me they know they deceive them. Say when they'll commodity way they'll kill them or that kind of thing. Me they see example for their this who are bother them. They get that college for commod. But I know so one that they come inside the days them at the time my country people they say una stay twin. I got the update una. Are they on ground for Awin? Santa as a whole. Now me the game I dey talk for background so say una get me una continue with that confidence wey una get for me so I to beg for the civilians say with the confidence and their information we go continue as the peace don already return for Santa so we go maintain am. Una I thank una very much and una stay twin. Yakafede up Igwe.